Dr. Indramani, please introduce the second speaker, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Dr. Indramani?
Sir, it's mute.
It's okay now?
Now it's okay. Now it's okay.
Just I wanted to add that this is a very important project of IRI, and upscaling is next one, and doing this business model we have to develop, and our director and system is very much interested in this. What we are saying that that many parts of the country there's no electricity is available, and if we can ensure 1 week storage of this perishable produce, that can make a big change. So with this we are working now, friends. Next we have another very important speaker, Dr. Bora. So Dr. Ganesh Bora is Associate Professor of Precision Agriculture in the Department of Agriculture and Biological Engineering, and Precision Agriculture Program Leader at Mississippi State University, USA. He did his BTech from Jabalpur, ME from AIT Bangkok, and then PhD from Kansas State University. He is a very accomplished scientist, known world over in the area of precision agriculture, and he is going to speak on very important subject. And as I mentioned yesterday, since time is less, we had promised Dr. Syed that 7:20 will start. So let us start at 7:20. And now it is to Dr. Ganesh Bora, please.
Thank you, Dr. Indramani.
Thank you.
And I'll speak quite fast, and I can go as I teach students, I can go fast and slow depending on. So what I'll do is like kind of general things. I'll go fast and we'll talk more interactive question answers than speaking from my side. Next. So I'll not go too much on precision ag. Most of you know what precision ag is. It has evolved from yield monitoring systems, then variable rate and chemical applications, sensors. All those things evolve based on what's needed by the agricultural system itself, and all the ways you see the information and data is quite important. That's what it's come to, like application, as we said, variable rate. That means like we are looking into optimizing resources with the right amount, the right time, right place, right methods. And for all these things, we need data, information, process, and use it. And so for engineering perspective, again, precision ag is multidisciplinary. We need agronomists, horticulturists, climatologist, economist, but engineering point of view, which is very important to collect the data, make decisions, and how to use that. So that's what we are looking at in this presentation, that how to get information. Next. So again, with this, we're looking at information going into big data. That means we have lots of information, and from where those informations coming in and how to optimize those information for making decision. So mostly the engineer's job is to get information and make decisions. Next. So we have different sources coming in, at least right now, the field-based technologies and then drones coming in. All this together gets very huge amount of data. It takes time. The challenges are very, very important, not only acquiring the data, transfer the data, and use of those data by processing. So it takes time, and how to use it, that's one of the things. Next. So field sensors, many of you have used this one. This is a green seeker made by Oklahoma State University, and I had a chance to work with them. And it's basically getting NDVI, that's a greenness of the system, how it takes like mounted on the tractor so it can be on the go use for this information, but it's very costly. And the system, the sensor itself, like you have to put 20 to 30 sensors on the tractor, it's very costly again. So, but very good information. It has been used quite a bit. One sensor uses $3,000-4,000, and if you use 20 of them, you can make the math. Next. So with UAS or drones coming in, they have been tested, and it has been seen that the proof of concept has been done. The challenges are always there, the big drones, the small ones, and the helicopters, and mostly it is in the grain crops and also in animal husbandry with livestock. And we have moved from getting data to even applicators. Now aerial spraying is becoming quite popular in especially Southeast Asia. And we have done quite a bit of work in livestock, getting into the health of the cows, or how even looking into the physiology and the shape of the cow, you can basically estimate how much weight that can be for the beef market and or meat market or into the cattle industry. Next. And as I was saying, like we are looking into the volume, and the drone you see is a drone from Israel Defense Department, and this has been, they are done with defense, so they wanted to use in agriculture, and they sent it to, when I was in North Dakota State, I was working with this drone, and this can go out of sight and using IC engines, no, not battery, so it can fly for a long time. And this type of drones has been now coming into agriculture sector to see how it can work. The point is, like, we have covering lots of information and from different sources and different aspects like yield, soil, seeds, moisture, waste, whatever you need, you're getting. And just see, if we fly a small drone for 30 minutes, we get about 60 gigabyte of data with just a simple 3 MB images. So that's just tip of the iceberg. So we need lots of information, lots of data, and the volume of data makes big data. If you talk to some of the other sectors like transport, health, they said, what big data do you get in agriculture? This is just simple information, like if you fly the drones, you get 60 gigabyte of in 30 minutes. And how about getting the actual social data or yield data, seeds, moisture? So those adds up to a lots of data, and how do you use this is important. Next. As I was saying, the challenges were more the transfer. Do you need it immediately on the go, real time, or you need post-processing? The challenges with post-processing is like if you're using 1 year old data, the situation changes. If you're using at real time, means you are using the challenges of getting the data immediately to the tractor or the machine. So those are kind of challenges not only with infrastructure, but also manpower we need. And that's what we are looking into, manpower development for using this along with the infrastructure. Next. So this is one of the available pictures. You can see agriculture system manager has become, basically this is one of the ag engineer job in US right now, that it's no more just only operating the tractor. It's a very heavy load on decision making. And this is just, this picture was taken about 2012, so you can see what's have evolved from since then. Next. Next. So data management was like, how do you manage the data on the go or from field sensors or UAS? We have done quite a bit work on field sensors. So what we are doing right now is those information compatible with UAS, because UAS is very fast, cheap, and like kind of we can get the data right now. But only again, as you're saying, the field sensors we can get wired as well as wireless, but UAS has to be wireless. Otherwise, how can we use that? And again, to use that with applicators like Spatial system, how this data can be done. Next. So we are looking into this data link from the US to the machines and using small drones, and again big drones we can store the data and post-processing. I'll just show how we process the data immediately, or at least kind of a day before or hour before. Next. So this is what our exact work we are working right now, that we acquire the data with the drone, and the data is stored either in the clouds or we store in the flash drive, and that web server can process the data, and that can be given to the users by internet, in mostly in iDevice, iPad, or iPhone on the farm. So you can upload the data where you are operating the tractor, get the data into the clouds, process it, and it takes about an hour or two, depending on what. So you get quite close to real time. Next. Next. So this is what exactly we are working in our field right now. And you can use this if you have, most of them have this connections, internet connections in the iPad and iPhone. So you can use this, download those data immediately, get into your tractor, use the data for. Next. We are also using Wi-Fi right now to see, and Bluetooth. So there are two technologies we are using on the go. One is 5G. There is a local cell phone provider, which is working with AT&T. They are giving us 5G on experimental basis. So how fast we can get the data immediately for the on-the-go application of chemicals. So that's the process we are using along with Wi-Fi. So if one goes off, the 5G comes in. So that's what, depending on how far the tractor is from the drone. Next. So we have developed algorithm based on, right now we are just using for corn nitrogen applications. And this is what just a algorithm pattern we are using, and based on what we need. Right now, as I said, for this our experiment, we are using only nitrogen for 3 applications. Next. Our overall strategy is to use this information. We have taken 3 years of data. So using these 3 years of data, if we can use AI and machine learning to get into our predictive application of nitrogen for this particular corn. Next. Next. So this pilot project we are using is in our university field. We have used green seeker and crop circle. Those are 2 field sensors to actually validate the data we get from UAS, so that we can kind of replace UAS, replace these field sensors by UAS. And we are using red and reddish green sensors from let me see the company. The Centrea. Please, next. So we have 16 blocks. We applied to 3 different application and 1 control. So to see what field sensors, and this is a direct map in Google Map, and we use 240 pounds per acre and 160, 80, and 1 control. So looking at what different informations we can get next. So in this project, we are looking at, especially during those who are familiar with corn, and different stages are based on the number of leaves they get. V6 is important, that's what it starts physiological growth. That means 6, and that's a very important, 6 leaves, that's a very important stage. So here the first application is done in initially during planting. The second side dressing is applied. The second application is in V6. They think like most of the development does. But recently they saw during flowering stage, that's the tasseling stage, whether they need fertilizer or not. If you fertilize, you might get excess increase in yield. That's what they are looking at from the agronomy side. So I am collaborating with our soil fertility experts and agronomists to see if we can do that. And that has been kind of used if we need the third application during VT, that's V12 stage, that means flowering stage or tasseling stage. Next. So we took data in different stages by field sensors, and at the same time we are using the UAS to see how, and again we are also using corn canopy and analysis by the agronomy. So we are doing it at the same time to see how we can use the UAS data instead of the field sensors. Next. So these are the fields, exact data taking. We are also using handheld as well as the 2 on that. I'll just see, so next. So this is my stand. I used 2 bicycles to make a stand to get the data on the field sensors for this. If you see on the back, that's the exact field we are using, and we are using center on the rotocopter and getting these 2 compared. If you can replace again the UAS data from the field sensors data. Next. Next. So this is again the data processing. We have to take out the soil data and get the georeference data so that we can go back and see what's going on the same area. We need that or not. And again, making a prescription map or even real time to gather the data, we need more georeference data. So we are using RTK GPS on this for corrections. Next. So we use the data for different application rates, and we saw quite a bit interesting part that field sensors, and they gave almost similar information, UAS, and within UAS, the red NDVI and red edge NDVI has quite distinctive. Next. So if you see the UAS red sensor.ndvi, initially red edge and red did not have much difference, but when we go into that tassel stage, we get really different. So if you see, most of them are green, but it's the red one is more. There is a difference between 0, that's a control, and application. And in this case, we did not see much difference in different application rates. So those are the discussion point for agronomists, but for our engineering and data collection point of view, we saw clear, distinct images that we can use for application or not application. Next. There is the website we made for data processing. Actually, these are for farmers to use, and this right now is not working and it's down somehow, and I've been trying to work with our ITS guys and nobody's working right now, so that's another problem. And it would be up in 3-4 days. So what you can do, like upload the data immediately for the farmers. They don't need to talk to us. They fly the UAS, upload their data. They need definitely a password from the university, and they can get their own maps, prescription maps, use it, and whatever information they want to add it, they can add it in that map itself. So this is purely for farmers related, and they can use this on the go or post-processing immediately, and just if it comes up, maybe it will come up, you have the link, and if you see different dates, whatever date you use, we can get the data immediately and process it there. Next. Just validating the data we got. If you see the average NDVIs for 0, it is 0.54. That was during V6, which is one important part for management decision. And if you see during Vita, so it's like there's a distinct between 0 and the other applications. But other application rates are not so much in difference, and that's how kind of making easy for that. Okay, you can go for 90 pounds per acre. So that's what the farmer or the decision-making process comes in. But there's a very distinct from application and non-application. Next. Just showing how this goes on with a graph. Next. So we found that definitely we can replace US and sensors. Those are because of easy to use, but the challenges would be how fast we can get the data, or how, if you want on the go, definitely still field sensors are very important. But if we can do it with near on the go or near real time, we still can use the UAS sensors, which are cheap and kind of very fast, and you get very good information and also easy to store and process. Next. Next. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to let you know that there are standards for applicators coming in, especially in Asia. It's being used right now for aerial applications. In US, still manned aircraft aerial application is quite important or very often used, but with aerial applications coming in by drones, it's not only cheaper, it's kind of very controlled. So that's how this standard might be quite important. And just to let you know that I represent the US committee on this ISO standard. So I had to get a vote for this. So USA has voted for this standard, it is still in draft. So I have the draft, and if anybody like for the ISC wants, I can share with you.
Yeah.
But this is still in draft, not has been approved by the ISO. Each country has approved, USA has approved with comments, and I'm sure India has also approved, because we haven't seen any dismissal by any other countries. So this is part 1, which is more environmental requirements. Part 2 is also coming. That's for more testings. And this is mostly used in China and Japan for paddy fields and orchards. Next. And this is again testing or evaluating the applicators, how you can done. This is I have taken directly from the ISO standard draft, just to show you that how the draft would come in. Next. So this is again using most of the agriculture machinery. ISO is represented by Technical Committee 23, which is on tractor and agriculture machinery. And this is directly in ASABE Machinery Committee 23. And the subcommittee is for crop protection is subcommittees 6, and the working group 25 is directly for unmanned aircraft system, which is working on this unmanned aerial spraying system. So there are 2 parts, as I said, and one is test methods, and another one is environmental requirement. Environmental requirement is almost done. We are supposed to go to Brazil in May for working, but this has been postponed, and we'll be having a June meeting for that in May. And next would be test methods. I just wanted to next give some idea about ISO standards for UAS. Just to let you know that part 1 and part 2 has right now been suspended for upgrading, and it's not available, but you can get part 3 and part 4 on UAS, which is more operational procedures. Those are available, and also the civil engineering part is coming in as on this ISO 21895. Next. I just want to take this opportunity to let you know that we have done a project for precision agriculture in Bangladesh, India, Thailand, Vietnam. And as you know, I was I did my master's in Thailand. I still keep in contact with people at AIT, and Manjul has presented one, and we have worked together for 30 years, Manjul and me, and I've seen Piyush also here, and Manjul and Piyush took lead in Thailand, and the Bangladesh, Dr. Manjul Alam, we got a project, and when I was in North Dakota State, and Bangladesh, Thailand, India, Vietnam, there are 4 countries participated in that. We trained farmers and policymakers as well as scientists in those countries. And definitely Thailand was in Bangkok AIT, and in India it was Tezpur University. Some of you know Dr. Deven Barua, he was the country representative at that time. In Bangladesh it was in Moimansingh, Bangladesh Agriculture Universities, and Vietnam it was Hanoi Water Resource University. I've been to all these places to when the training was done, the workshop was done. I was personally working with them. And this pictures is from Bangladesh. And interestingly, I thought like, as I knew India and Thailand very well, and that the development would be more in India and Thailand, but I saw the involvement of all high level in Vietnam and Bangladesh had better equipped in precision ag than India and Thailand. That was very interesting findings from those workshops. And in Vietnam, it was great that like the agriculture minister of Vietnam also dropped by that workshop when we were working on that. Next. But what main aspects we are looking was that everywhere we talk about that the technology in developed countries is not same in developing countries. So that was theme of those workshops. That, but what we looked into is that concept behind the technology will work, but the technology can be developed locally. So that's what we came up with, and then subsequently I also moderated one open forum in ASB, and one of those open forum in Stellenbosch, South Africa, Dr. Indramani was also there. That precision ag is a data-based decision-making things. It's not the technology. So the concept behind any aspects can be transferred. The technology can be developed locally. So that's what I just put one, what CDEC in India was doing machinery. Next.
Next, please.
Next. It's mostly workshop, workforce development is necessary along with the technology for locally resource. So this I just was looking for what India has been done. So this is one of the things that app CDEC has developed. So those things can be used. Only thing, it cannot be more piecemeal basis. It should be more part of a system that what you need in the beginning to get into this and what the information can be used for what purpose. So if we can use those kind of things and develop the technology locally, that can get more work done than getting the technology from developed countries. Next. So what information we can get from this developed technologies to our, so just if we know, use our own information, what the farmers have been doing. If the farmers use information, free satellite maps or whatever he knows about the farm, or go around the farm during pre-harvesting time, before harvesting, or look at what's going on. He can take a notebook and note it down and use that for application of fertilizer or application of irrigation or seeds. Next. So in most of the extreme cases, like if he has like 1 acre or 1 hectare of land, what you can do, you cannot buy high cost technology on, but you can use your eyes, you can use your knowledge as a data. Just go around the farm, get all this information, note down. I come from a farming family. I could see that I have never seen that my father has noted down all this information about the farm. I used to go to the farm and use the hull like the bullock carts, plows, but we never use or discuss about what's going on, or we never note down information. So if we can note down those information, that can be used as data. If we walk and we do crop scouting, yield monitoring, that can be done by hand. I'm talking about the extreme cases, small farmers. That can be done by a paper map. And if we use this information and we can get this yield map, which can be used as a prescription map. So those are some of the things we can use, and definitely the big farmers who have lots of land can use all the technology available on the land. So we have in between mostly, so we can get this slope from the 0 to 100 in India. Next. So definitely we have all the benefits of information. You can use reduction in fertilizer, all these resources can be optimized. And on top of that, there is a climate change things we have been talking about with this lockdown. Everybody's seen that lots of good air, and we can see we can do that in agriculture itself without getting into the lockdowns. So we can see plenty of, because most of the chemicals are unused getting into the pollution. If we use it optimizedly, all the chemicals are used, then there is no pollutions. Next. And there's an estimate from USDA that if only 10% farms in US can use precision ag technologies, and 16 million gallons of fuel and 4 million pounds of insecticides, 2 million quarts is close to liters of herbicides can be used.
Dr. Bora,
Yes, please.
can we finish in 2-3 minutes?
I'm done.
Yeah.
Just
Thank
last,
you.
I think it would be last.
Thank you very much.
Next. Next. So this is this is my last, I just wanted to, that what population has increased over the period of time. We are now feeding 7.8 billion people. And this information you can get on the, I normally put just 1 hour before the presentations, this number. We are going into 7.8 billion people. Next, there is one more table in the side. If you see this one, and most of our, including me, between 60 and 65, 70, there are 3 billion people, and now we are 7.8, almost 3 times we have seen. So we need technology or maybe third green revolutions to feed these people. And with that, I'll take any questions you have.
Thank you, Dr. Bora. It was very interesting topic, and we are all very happy to see you talked about standardization in aerial spraying, and that's what we are, I think last 2 ISAE meeting also we were talking about the topic. I'll take a question now from the question and answer. Somebody wants to, I think Ravi Kumar Kaloji, he wants to know what is the power capacity of the UAV, the engine, what is the capacity?
So normally it goes by what size of UAVs, and for small ones, it's about it can fly about 30 minutes, but the big ones, they can go for 2 hours. We talked about that's IC engines. It's not battery powered. That was by Israel Defense Department, Albert, which sent the UAVs, and that can go out of sight.
Thank you. We have engineer Dilip Kumar Kushawa. Can you ask the question fast?
Sir, my question is that just for information, how much time the developed website takes to process the data, and whether it can be used for other application as a raw data?
See, right now we are using the data processing day by day. All the day you take the information, put it there. It takes about a minute to get a 1 day of data info processed. The next big question is, how do you use that data along with other days of data? So more data you have, more time it takes. So it takes about 1 minute to process about, say, 3-4 gigabytes of data.
Thank you. We have a question from Rabesh Maiti.
Yeah, Dr. Bora, quickly, you have told a lot about plant using UAS. Is there any work going on for soil properties and moisture? The same process?
Yeah, some of our colleagues are working on that soil properties, but they have not got quite a bit good success on that. It's because the soil properties, especially moisture, use a thermal camera to see how it goes. Thermal cameras are still kind of shaky grounds right now, not only very costly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Indramani, Professor Ganesh Singh has to talk, please.
I just have a suggestion because Ganesh, you work with Devin Barua at Tejpur. Can you connect these people with the CIAE, Dr. C.R. Mehta, so they know what has been done? And probably CIA or IRI and other centers should pick it up from there and move forward.
I can definitely do that.
I know you went to Tejpur because you are from Assam, so but let us make it a national project on a wider basis.
No, definitely. I took Tejpur because Devin was my very close friend. That's personal.
I know that, but we have to bring Devin into circuit. He has been outside. He's in the energy group there, and I think Indramani knows him very well, so I should get him in this. Yeah.
Anyway,
Definitely, that would be a very good idea.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Maybe
Dr. Indramani.
next project I'll take with USAID with Dr. Indramani and CIA.
Thank you, sir.
Very good. Very good. Dr. Indramani, please. Can you thank the speaker?
It was a wonderful day. And we have now, I have to make 2 quick points. One is on UAB, because Government of India has also appointed a committee under the DDG Engineering, and I'm convener of that committee, and I've also finalized the report, a recommendation of technical from our side, and submitted to the government, and it is under serious consideration at advanced stage. And we are also going to have, UAB for pesticide applications very soon. This is one thing, and I discussed with the BIS people and your recommendation on standards. So I will be having that one, use it for our purpose also. And so UAB is going to be applied on the farmers field very soon. And second, for our friends that we are having a similar presentation, more like from different places. So please try to understand what is our purpose, just to share what is being done at different centers, so we can compare and collect and see that how we have to move. And as Professor Singh said, that through your experiences here in India, Bangladesh, and adjoining countries, and what we have been doing, we can collect that and collate it, and then we can make our own program. So thank you very much, Dr. Bora. Thank you, Sangeeta, for making very good presentation, and thank you, Dr. Syed, for training us on the 8th day. And it has been really a very good experience. Tomorrow we have another very good session, and Sibin Raj from Penn State University and Lau from Washington State University. They will also be speaking on automation related, one on water, another on specialty crop. So that will be a very good session tomorrow, and training session, of course. Day by day, we are getting advantage of this one. I was told that now we are more than 1,000 Facebook friends connected to us. Let us make this a very important program. And on last day, we will make this. There has been suggestion that this should not be a spontaneous activity. I'm sure that this is not going to be a spontaneous activity. We will make it a chain activity, and we will see that this activity serves the profession of agriculture engineering in the best possible manner. Thank you very much once again to all for sparing time and being with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you. End the meeting, please.